Poll 84, stackable clues, and more. Poll 84 introduces a huge set of improvements covering clue scrolls, PVM, banking, and more. Poll 84 is packed with quality of life improvements, PVM tweaks, clue scroll upgrades, and more. Whether you're skilling, bossing, or just banking in style, we've got something for everyone. Dive in and help shape the next round of updates. This is a very big poll blog, and I'm really excited to get into it. There are some controversial things in here, specifically regarding clue scrolls. I've just glanced at this for the most part, but I already have some thoughts brewing up in the background, and I'm just about to unload a lot onto you guys. So I expect the same in the comments. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on all of this. Also, as always, these Sae Bae Rambles are all with video on Spotify, so go down in the description and click it on Spotify. That really helps me to grow the podcast over on Spotify so it can eventually get monetized. Right now, there's absolutely zero ads for anybody. You guys can go check it out there. There's comments. There's even timestamps going on. That is also included with the Sae Bae cast, by the way. So if you guys are like, man, I wish the Sae Bae cast had timestamps, over on Spotify, they do it automatically. It's kind of crazy. It's not perfect, obviously, because we're talking about RuneScape and Gillinor and stuff, but they do a pretty damn good job. So jump over there. I'm going to have 2 Spotify links down in the description. Let's get this underway. Stackable clues. Stackable clue scrolls have been a highly requested feature for years, but they've also been more of one of the divisive topics in the community. We know there are strong feelings on both sides, and we want to take a moment to explain how we got here, why we want to make this change, and how we'll ensure it remains balanced for the future. How did we get here? Picture this. It's March 2024. The birds are singing, the goblins are goblining, and we decided to change clue scrolls so they despawn after an hour instead of 2 minutes. Why? Well, a small but dedicated group of players had figured out a crazy method of juggling clue scrolls. It was niche, it was weird, but instead of breaking that little loophole, we thought, why not just make this official? Surely this won't spiral out of control. Spoiler alert, it did. By the way, clue scrolls were 3 minutes. I'm 99.9% sure on that. I guess maybe there's a part of me that's misremembering, but I'm almost certain they were 3 minutes, just like any untradeable item. And the reason I remember that is just because like there were some juggling tech with that old method where you would drop one of your master clues at the crafting guild and go to like the floor 7 or floor 8 of the pyramid plunder, or go to Draken's castle, for example. So I hope they don't just revert it to 2 minutes. I think 3 minutes will be fine, but there's much more to talk about that on that front. So let's continue. The entire clue hunting community took one look at this and started juggling clues like it was their full-time job. I know those people. What was meant to be a small quality of life fix suddenly became the new sweaty meta. And before we knew it, our inboxes were full of complaints from players who hated clue juggling, but now felt like they had to do it to stay competitive. Lesson learned. Just because something is less annoying doesn't mean it's not still, or less annoying doesn't mean it's not still annoying. Oh, okay. We knew we had to do something about it. However, simply undoing the change felt like pulling the rug out from under players who had already adapted to it. Thus, instead of relying on inventory tricks and despawn timers, we're proposing a way for players to legitimately stack a limited number of clue scrolls. Introducing the scroll box. It's so funny because like you could almost see this title being an April Fool's joke after, Leagues 1 or Leagues 2. You know what I mean? Like just this simple title, like introducing the scroll box into the main game. It's just funny how we get to these points. Instead of juggling clue scrolls like a circus performer, with scroll boxes, you'll be able to stack your clue scrolls in a limited, controlled way. Here's how it works. If you've completed the quest X marks the spot, you'll start receiving clue scroll boxes instead of regular clue scrolls. If you haven't completed X marks the spot, you'll still receive standard clue scrolls. You can hold up to a maximum of 5 scroll boxes, or 4 and 1 clue scroll. Okay, so you can't have 5 scroll boxes and a clue. Geodes, bottles, and bird nests, they'll now give scroll boxes instead of loose clue scrolls. It's worth noting that this proposed system is actually weaker than the current juggling method, but it's significantly less annoying. You won't be able to stack dozens of clues for long grinding sessions, but you'll have a legitimate way to hold on to multiple clues without resorting to tedious inventory tricks. Sounds great, right? Well, hold on, because you won't be able to just stack clues for free. Watson says you gotta earn them. Okay, so just first point, I want to make it clear that this is actually not significantly less annoying compared to the juggling method. Those people that have really adapted the clue scroll juggling tech, they don't find it annoying at all. I mean, the only real annoyance for them is just the gathering of them, you know, like repeatedly going back to the same spot. But all of that annoyance is lifted once they have all the clues in one standardized place at the crafting guild or wherever they're doing it. And the reason it's less annoying, the old system versus this proposed system, is because they can do longer sessions of it. That's the simple answer to it. Like, the longer sessions is actually the less annoying route. But I see what they're trying to say here, which is just like, who wants to go run back to their place and go grab their clue? Who wants to teleport back to the crafting guild and pick up another clue scroll and juggle them? So probably majority of people that didn't take the juggling terribly seriously can see this as, you know, just an improvement across the board. But yeah, I just don't feel like it's completely honest to say that this is like significantly less annoying. Yeah. All right, unlocking your stacking power. We know you're eager to hoard clues like a dragon sitting on a pile of treasure, but stacking clue scrolls is something you'll have to earn. Why? Because clue scrolls are special. That magical moment when you see your first clue drop, the rush of excitement, the dreams of untold riches, the immediate panic when it's a coordinate step, shouldn't be lost in a pile of stacked clues. We still want newer gamers to feel that rush of, it's treasure hunting time. However, once you've proven yourself as a seasoned clue chaser, you'll unlock the power to stack clues like a true treasure hunting pro. How to unlock your stacks. To increase your stacking limit, you'll need to complete the following challenges. Defeat the Mimic. This will increase your clue scroll stack cap across all tiers by 1. Complete a set number of clues per tier. This would unlock additional stacking for that specific tier. See below. Okay, so once you've completed 50 beginners, you're going to get another level up, looks like. And then once you've done 100, you're going to get a second cap increase. So let me continue reading this and just make sure we're on the same boat. Because why is there only 2 cap increases if it's going to stack up to 5? Think of it as leveling up your clue hunting skills. The more you engage, the better your stacking ability gets. We've slightly reduced the number for rarer clues like Masters and Elites, since we know those can be quite the grind, but we're always open to feedback. Here's a quick example for you. Base level, no cap increases. You can hold up to 2 clues total. Oh, okay. So whether that's 2 scroll boxes or a clue scroll in 1 box. First cap increase increases your total clue capacity to 3 for that tier. Second cap increases your total clue capacity to 4 for that tier. And Defeat the Mimic unlocks an extra slot across all tiers. Okay, cool. Makes sense. And this bonus is retroactive, so if you've already bested the Mimic before this update goes live, you'll get that +1 immediately. Cool. Addressing concerns, and I will have some concerns after this. One key change we want to be upfront about is the reduction of the clue scroll despawn timer back to 2 minutes. And I imagine that'll be 3 minutes. We'll see if they're actually very stern on 2 minutes. This will happen regardless of whether stackable clues pass the poll or not. Wow. Okay, so this is not a poll. This is an integrity change in their eyes. We recognize this will be a controversial change, but after reviewing player behavior and feedback, we believe the 1-hour despawn timer led to unintended and frustrating play patterns that weren't healthy for the game. Our goal is to ensure clue scrolls remain an engaging and rewarding activity rather than something that encourages excessive juggling or forces players into tedious inventory management. That's also why stackable clues are being proposed to offer a practical alternative. If this update passes, you'll be able to store up to 5 clues per tier in your inventory, reducing the need for constant back and forth interruptions. The intent here is to smooth out the experience, not trivialize it. Whether you're finishing a Slayer task without needing to leave multiple times, or completing a raid without abandoning your group for an elite clue, the 5 clue limit helps strike a balance between convenience and challenge. This is just the first step in improving clue scrolls. We want to refine the system to enhance your gameplay without making it trivial. We'll continue to monitor how this system plays out and make changes if necessary. But to be absolutely clear, we will not be increasing the stack limit beyond 5. Wow. This is a firm cap, and we have no plans to expand it further. Damn, this just got pretty crazy. So there are so many things to talk about with this. You know what? Let's finish up this entire section. So we just got 2 more sections, and then I'll really go to town. Skip tokens. One of the biggest frustrations with clue scrolls is reaching a late step only to be hit with a task you can't complete or just really don't want to do. Some players resort to juggling clues to avoid these situations, which isn't exactly an engaging gameplay experience. To address this, we're introducing skip tokens, a new item designed to give players more control over their clue solving experience without removing the challenge entirely. Each clue tier will have its own skip token, obtained through clue scroll reward chests. These tokens will be tradable and stackable, making them a valuable commodity for players looking to streamline their clue runs. Tradable, eh? Okay, holy shit. Skip tokens allow you to skip a single clue step within a scroll. They cannot be used on the final step of a clue to preserve the integrity of the reward structure. How are we supposed to know that, by the way? Because, for example, hards have 4 to 6 steps, so you just can't use it on the 4th step, can't use it on the 5th step, can't use it on the 6th step, can't use it on any of those. So you can only use it for the first, 3 skips. Is that how it goes? Like, that sounds confusing. I don't know why that would even be, a stern or just why? Why can't we just use the skip token? And if it is the final step, guaranteed, we just get the casket. I don't understand that. A warning message will appear if skipping would complete the clue, helping to prevent you from accidentally wasting a skip token. So is that... Okay, so if you're on step 5, if I'm reading this correctly, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. If you're on step 4 of your clues, of your hard clue scroll, and keep in mind hards are 4 to 6 steps. So if you're on that 4th step, you've already completed 3 steps. If you use it, can it basically tell you oh, this actually is the 4th step? So you could actually use the token, and then it would just give you a warning saying, hey, by the way, you actually did roll the 4-step hard clue, and so by using this, it will break the clue, so you can't do it. Or is that going to be how it works? Just basically you could just use it, and obviously if it is going to be a 6-stepper or 5-stepper, it would just use. So the prediction, sort of get around is only going to work if it actually is a 4-stepper. That just sounds odd to me. It just sounds odd. I don't really get the point of this. Also, can you just use unlimited skip tokens? Can a super rich Giga Chad main just buy skip tokens and never actually solve any clues except for the final step? Because that feels fucking weird. You know what I mean? What the hell is going on? There's going to be these rich Giga Chads that literally sit at the Grand Exchange and open implings, get the clue scroll, and then just start spamming tokens on it and getting rewards. What the hell is going on? Ah, God. By introducing skip tokens, we're offering an alternative to juggling while also adding a new tradable reward to clues. Whether you're an Iron Man looking for a smoother clue experience or a merchant eyeing new profit opportunities, these tokens should bring both convenience and value to clue scrolls and break them entirely and make it so rich people don't even have to do clues anymore if they just get rewards. What this means for you. This update isn't about making clue scrolls easier. It's about addressing past mistakes and refining the experience. The longer despawn timer led to unintended frustrations, and we're rolling that back while also introducing stackable clues in a way that keeps the gameplay loop engaging and rewarding. With stackable scroll boxes replacing raw clue scrolls, you'll have much more control over your clue inventory without relying on workarounds. Imagine you're deep into a Bandos or Next trip and that clue scroll drops on Casey number 1. Instead of interrupting your run, it'll now stack neatly, ready for when you decide to take it on. Skip tokens provide an additional layer of flexibility, acting as a tradable resource that gives players more agency in clue solving. These aren't a free pass, but they do add an extra reward space, something valuable for both clue hunters and those looking to trade. If you hit a step that doesn't fit your current plans, you'll have the option to skip it, keeping the momentum going while preserving the challenge. At its core, this update is about removing unnecessary frustration while keeping clue scrolls just as rewarding and exciting as ever. The challenge remains, but you'll have more control over how and when you take it on. Okay, so there's a lot of issues that I want to just bring up. First thing, this is in no particular order, by the way, so it's going to kind of be a jumbled mess of my thoughts. If we do release these stackable clue scrolls, thieving clue scrolls becomes gigatech, because now presumably you'll be able to pickpocket 2 scroll boxes if you're wearing the rogue's outfit. You know how the rogue's outfit doubles your loot, and that never affected clue scrolls because you could only hold 1 at a time. It looks like now if you're thieving hams, you're going to get 2 scroll boxes from it. If you're thieving whatever they are, you know, gnomes or whatever for the mediums, or heroes for the elites or whatnot, like this is going to drastically change the time spent, which, to be fair, I actually am for this change, mainly because the wilderness completely dominates the meta right now, which I actually despise. I genuinely hate that. If you want to do hards, elites, or masters as an Iron Man, the fastest way for all 3 of those tiers is to just spam the wilderness. Either do 10-man Callisto or do Hellhounds with a Venator bow. Like, can we just get that meta outside of the wilderness already? Like, Jesus. Anyway, there's also some other points I want to bring up. One is that the 5 cap, like if we are going down the system, the 5 cap is too small. And the only reason I'm suggesting that it's too small is because I imagine that 5 cap kind of is like a universal, like, okay, in most cases, you're going to go to a Slayer task and you're really only going to get about 5 clues, let's be honest. Or, you know, you're going to be on a raiding session and surely you won't get 5 clues before you could just go send them. But I really do feel like a 10 cap, and this is still being conservative, but I think a 10 cap would actually go a little harder. It'll just be a little bit better. So what that means is just literally doubling the like if we didn't want to make this too absurd, you could literally just say every single one of these steps just increases your clue stacking by 2 instead, and you start with, you know, 4 clues total or something like that. And this is not absolutely necessary by any means, but I'm just imagining those cases where you actually are doing a hard clue task and your clue RNG is insane. I think 10 is like the perfect limit where almost in no case ever do you get more than 10 clue scrolls in a task. In fact, 5 is already pretty generous on that front, but there's a few advantages to 10, which is just, it's an even number, which means if you're going to be pickpocketing, gathering your clues, you have an even number of doing it. So you could get 5 pickpockets and then you have 10. I think the odd number of 5 just is kind of an annoyance because you're only going to go for 2 pickpockets and then get your 4 clues. Again, not a big deal. I'm just kind of suggesting this in a way. If it sticks with the 5, which they seem pretty adamant on, it's not the end of the world. But I genuinely think that 10 might just be a slightly more convenient and nicer route to go. But that's up to them, and it sounds like they want to keep it at 5. Now, there's some other concerns I have. One is I've talked with these Giga Chad, clue hunters that have just been absolutely abusing the system for the last year. And we've seen some Iron Man just shoot up in clue scrolls. I mean, that's a separate topic. I mean, there's a guy named Wiki that has like fucking at least 10 unique third age at this point, all because of abusing these juggling systems. And so a lot of those guys, though, love the juggle tech, and they actually see it as much more fun to solve clue scrolls that way because they have genuinely solved, putting clues on separate piles in the crafting guild. Like, these are the wilderness steps, these are the double agent steps, these are the map step, whatever it is. They now have this like really cool, intricate system that's going on that's quite complex, but it actually simplifies their strategies and makes it so they're solving clues way quicker. With this overly simplified system that they're offering and proposing, it's basically just, oh no, you have to just do one clue scroll at a time. So I want to propose this. Many of you have already heard this. I've talked about this in rambles and casts many times, but it's basically the idea that you don't actually even have scroll boxes. So let me try to maintain what Jagex has proposed in some sense. Let's just say it is a stack of 5. Now, the system I would like to just present to you guys is, what if it wasn't scroll boxes at all? What if it was just, you can now hold 5 clue scrolls of each tier once you've, obviously done all these unlocks. So basically, you can just hold 5 different hard clues in your inventory, and they're non-stackable. They're just 5 separate individual clue scrolls. So now, and the reason I think this is actually kind of nice is you can now actually solve 5 clues simultaneously. So you have 5 actual clues in your inventory, and when you solve one, maybe one says, hey, go to Bergdarot in the corner of here. So then you're going to save that step and try to solve the other 4 going on. And then you're going to grab, another one and just like, oh, we're also in Bergdarot. So now you're kind of like, there's a little bit more complexity involved where like you're actually solving 5 clues at the exact same time. And that can actually lead to a slight bit of complexity. Obviously not as much as the clue juggling, because you just had vast majorities of clues just on the ground for an hour and just continuing to be juggled. But I actually think a system where you can only have a limit of 5, but they're genuinely able to be solved all at once, I think could actually be the better route. And it also has sort of a natural limit to it where like you can, I don't know, it just feels a little bit more simple. It feels like it's not as restraining. I think there's like always kind of this weird restraint where the fact that you just can't have another clue scroll of the same type in your inventory just feels odd. Anyway, this is just my personal take on this. I just think it would be cooler, honestly, to just scrap the whole... I mean, if you're going to remove the timers, the juggling timers, and that's an integrity change, I genuinely think that these scroll boxes overly simplify the clue solving process, and I think we'd actually be losing something by not having the ability to like solve multiple at once. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. I'd love to hear if there's any concerns on that system. There could be some things I'm not thinking of that could make it just not as fun, or some game breaking thing with it. But I think that'd be kind of cool. It'd also be kind of cool to like be pickpocketing and then just get actually like 2 clue scrolls rather than just like a stack of 2 boxes that you can only withdraw 1 from at a time. I want to also touch on the skip tokens. These are very weird, and I'd actually suggest not introducing this at this time, mainly because these are really broken. And the reason is because they haven't actually had any, they're not explicitly saying that there's a limit of how many skips you can do per clue scroll. So genuinely, I don't know what the price of these are going to be since they're tradable, but if these are like 50K or whatever, who knows, maybe they're going to be much more. But if they're 50K, you're going to be solving clue scrolls instantaneously with 250K GP. Well, to be at that point, these would be much more expensive, actually. So I guess the price would just shoot up. They'd hit a point where the Giga Chad maxers are going to be paying, I don't know, $1 mil per token or something. So maybe this is balanced in some sense. But at the same time, this is not going to be for any actual casual, because you're going to be competing in the market with absolute rich, have nothing else to do besides clog all day and do clue scrolls, and these tokens are just going to shoot up to insane amounts where the average casual player that would love to skip something is just not going to be able to unless they've got their own skip token from a clue scroll, which I imagine is coming from a clue scroll. Yeah, it looks like they're obtained from clue scroll reward chests. So This is just a mistake, I think. I think we should scrap this entirely. And this was brought up by myself, and also I've seen some Reddit posts on it, of a blocking system and a skip system of a step. So this would be something where you can actually just block steps outright by going to Watson. So Watson would kind of be like your clue master, similar to like a Slayer master, where you go to him, you got some reward space. And again, this would be for the future. They can drop an update that Watson kind of becomes like your go-to dude. The more clues you complete, the more unlock slots you get to block certain steps, which you just hate. Because by the way, if they are going to reduce this to 2 minutes, which would be crazy, the triple steps become a little bit more difficult to solve for masters. But by the way, the triple step juggling will still be the thing. Will still be obviously the tech. And I don't know. I just think it's better to have a system that's a little bit more... I don't know. It just feels like you're really having meaningful unlocks instead of these skip tokens. Like going to Watson, blocking certain steps you just never want to do, like agility pyramid or whatnot for a hard clue. And then even having the ability to skip a certain step at that exact time. So you have to go to Watson. Let's just say you're a pure account that just can't do this next step. But you've done enough clues, so you've built up some skips. Now you can just skip this step that you virtually just cannot do because it requires defense, for example. I think that'd just be a better system to go down, and we can obviously talk about that in the future. And this, I think, genuinely should just be we should vote no to this. This is, I think, a bad idea for the game. Personally, I'd love to hear any takes on why this could be a good thing. So let me know down in the comments. So what was also going on here? So anyway, there's so much to talk about with this kind of system. It just feels a little bit, I don't know, a little bit strange that we're going down this route. But at the same time, it makes sense. I've been a person that hasn't liked the juggling tech, but I understood so many people loved it. So I was always a bit hesitant to really share how I felt, to really go to town and like, hey, can we fucking patch this bullshit? But yeah, anyway, I will have many more videos coming out about this, and I'm going to bring some guests on maybe for some like mini Sae Bae casts or something. So yeah, there's so much more to talk about on this, but we will continue the onwards for now. PVM reworks. Abyssal Sire rework. The Abyssal Sire has always been a unique boss, but we recognize that its mechanics can feel a little outdated compared to more modern encounters. Our goal is to refine the fight while maintaining its core identity, making it more engaging and enjoyable without completely overhauling what makes it special. With that in mind, here are some of the changes we'd like to propose. Sire is currently untargetable during its transition phases, forcing players to sit and wait. We want to make it targetable during these phases to keep the action going. Cool. So it looks like everywhere you can just start slashing Sire. So when it's getting off its throne initially, you can start bashing it, hopefully. Sire's sluggish movement feels unnecessarily tedious. We'd like to increase its speed to match a player's run, reducing downtime between mechanics. I'll be honest, Jagex, if it's possible, I wouldn't even say fix the sluggish movements. I don't even think that's the real concern. I think it would just be cool if across the board you could just keep hacking and slashing away at it. So during those transitions, you go into the engine and say, hey, like, you still be attackable the whole time. That would be amazing. Because even if you just speed this up by double, we're still going to just all of a sudden be walking underneath Sire trying to click it and attack it. So honestly, I think the better route to go down would to be keeping Sire looking sluggish and whatever, but just being able to keep bashing it in. So that's my personal take, but whatever you decide to do, it's whatever. The lung phase takes too long, dragging out the fight unnecessarily. We're looking into shortening it while still ensuring it remains a meaningful part of the encounter. While the two back vents will remain on the map, they will no longer be active during the fight. Additionally, we plan to implement a minimum hit of 50% to your weapon's max hit. What the? We plan to implement a minimum hit of 50% of your weapon's max hit. Okay, so a minimum hit of Okay, so just why? Where? At just the vents? Or what are we talking about? The fight itself? Which will allow endgame setups to more reliably one-phase them. Demon Bane weapons will also be able to one-shot these vents. Okay, so we're talking about the vents here. Wait, so we're only going to be attacking 2 of the vents now? The 2 back vents will remain on the map. Okay, so when I was reading this, I was actually seeing like the 2 tentacles, but they're actually meaning the 2 out of the 4 vents, the back ones, will no longer be active even. So you're only going to be hitting 2 of them, and it looks like you can just 4-shot it if you don't even have a Demon Bane weapon. But if you have a Demon Bane weapon, you're just going to attack and then attack, and you're done. Okay, why are we getting rid of the 2 back vents? I mean, I am a huge fan of the 100% kill. You know, I like that. I like being able to just one-shot those vents if you have a Demon Bane weapon. But why are we getting rid of the back 2 ones? I mean, I guess that's going to make the fight feel a little shorter or whatnot, but I just feel like that's completely unnecessary. Like, why not still have the 4? I don't know. Does anyone disagree with me? It just feels strange. To compensate for these changes and ensure the fight doesn't become too short, we'll introduce a 50% damage reduction. What the fuck? And increase Sire's HP, maintaining the overall challenge and engagement. This is the... Okay, I have to make this so fucking painfully clear. Introducing damage reduction feels shit. I mean, it's horrible. It's the worst thing you can ever do. Why are we still doing this in 2025? This is the blunder they made at Vorkath when people were wooks walking and they're like, oh my god, no, the people, they're not supposed to be attacking during this phase. We have to nerf them. Like, bro, they should have gone the fucking opposite route and literally doubled the damage on the acid phase to actually encourage wooks walking, you know, like, or just left it alone. I'm kind of trolling when I say doubling it, but like, why are we punishing people for these kinds of things? Stop it. Do not add a 50% damage reduction. That is so dog shit. Just increase Sire's HP. Like, what are we even talking about here? This is so stupid. And honestly, don't even increase Sire's HP. Why are we even doing that? Just make it so we have the 4 vents that can be one-shot if you have a Demon Bane weapon, and then make it so we can just continually attack Sire and stop introducing 50% damage reductions and make it so Sire's HP is the same, or even just maybe increase it 100 HP or something. You know, like, I think it's 400 right now. Like, just make it 500. Just like, why the damage reduction? What is up with that? That makes 0 sense. Please don't do that. Please do not do that. Okay. That's horrible. Yeah, I just don't understand why they're trying to get rid of the 2 back vents. If you can already one-shot them, that's actually going to be a really satisfying part of the fight now. You know, you're genuinely having massive increases where you can't even hit below half your max hit if you don't have a Demon Bane weapon. And then most people at that point do have a Demon Bane weapon. That being able to one-shot all 4 vents is going to feel good. I don't know why we're getting rid of that now that we're literally buffing the vents. Or like we're making it so we can just one-shot them. None of this is computing in my head. Melee at Zulrah. After seeing some interesting results in leagues, Raging Echoes, we now want to make a potential change for the main game, allowing melee attacks to damage Zulrah. Currently in the main game, Zulrah can only be damaged with a halberd, thanks to its extended range, but we want to expand this to let players use melee combat against Zulrah directly. So what would this mean for you? Wait, what? Currently, in the main game, Zulrah can only be damaged with a halberd. So, thanks to its extended range. Really? We can? When did that change happen? I didn't actually know you could. That's confusing. I don't get that. Am I wrong on this? Am I confused? I thought you actually couldn't. I thought you couldn't even attack Zulrah with a halberd. But when did that change? Like last year or something? We want to expand this to let players use melee combat against Zulrah direct. Isn't that still melee combat? What is... I don't get this. What is happening? If this change goes through, I know I sound so confused, so please just somebody enlighten me. You don't need to just flame the hell out of me. I'm just genuinely confused at this. I thought Zulrah was not able to be attacked by even halberds, even though it was just one tile away. And then what's really confusing is it's saying, but we want to expand this to let players use melee combat against Zulrah directly. So what does that mean? Does that mean you can just use a whip against it? Like everything? You just attack with melee anywhere? Is that what they're trying to say? Let me know down in the comments. If this change goes through, you'll be able to deal damage to Zulrah with melee attacks. However, before you start gearing up with your best melee setup, it's important to understand this won't replace your traditional mage or range strategies. Does melee outcompete mage or range? In short, not exactly. We've tested the best main hand halberd available, the Noxious Halberd, paired with high-tier gear like Torva and Oathplate, and while melee offers some benefits, it doesn't outcompete the current best in slot setup for mage and range. So the best main hand halberd. So do we still have the extended range? This is what I'm confused about, because I thought Zulrah couldn't even be attacked with a halberd. Are they trying to say we're expanding this to let players continue to use halberds? Or any melee weapon? Because why would they be testing this with a halberd? Why not test it with a scythe? But I'm guessing I don't know. The whole wording on this and the things I've thought are all colliding right now. I don't know what's happening. Again, let me know down in the comments. There is one exception. During the Crimson Red phase, melee can outperform some magic setups. This means that depending on your gear, melee could be a viable alternative in this phase. If you're considering incorporating melee into your strategy, it might be worth checking your setups and running the numbers to see if it fits your playstyle. But when would melee actually be useful? Melee could be useful in specific situations, especially if your melee gear is significantly stronger than your mage or range setup. The Crystal Halberd special attack could also help in finishing off phases, but it's not a game changer overall. So they keep mentioning halberds, so I'm guessing this is only going to be able to be attacked with halberds, which wasn't the case, even though they're claiming it was the case. And then they're saying they want to expand it to melee combat, but all of their examples are just what they're claiming could already be done in the first place. I'm not understanding this. What's the point of this? Ultimately, it's about offering players a fun alternative and giving you more ways to approach Zulrah. While it's not meant to replace the existing strategies, it's a fresh option for those who want to experiment or switch things up. We're always exploring new ideas and testing them out to see what works best. This change would give players the freedom to try a different playstyle without drastically altering the core mechanics of Zulrah fights. Should we allow players to use melee at Zulrah? Again, is this going to be with halberds only or with everything? Not so challenge mode chambers. Oh no, new mode. Next up, we've got something for all you raiders out there. We're excited to introduce a new toggle in the raid creation interface that would allow players to generate a challenge mode CM style layout for regular chambers of Xeric Cox raids. This means all the rooms would appear in the same predictable order, just like in a CM. While the bosses would still scale to regular Cox difficulty, this option will offer a consistent layout for those who prefer it. So why would you care about this? Well, this change isn't just for speedrunners. It also offers valuable benefits for those looking to practice CM mechanics in a less stressful environment. By having a fixed layout for all rooms, you can get comfortable with the flow of the raid, perfect your gear choices, and learn when to use certain potions or tactics. This is especially helpful for newer players who want to practice CM procedure and familiarize themselves with the timing, preparation, and strategy without the stakes of a full CM raid. For speedrunners, this toggle provides a consistent layout, eliminating the need to re-roll for certain rooms and making the whole process a bit smoother. It's a chance to refine strategies with fewer variables in play without the pressure of CM-specific challenges. For those who just want to learn every room and want to avoid re-rolling for specific layouts, this option provides a great alternative. You'll be able to practice each room in the same order and get the most out of your learning experience. Now, you might be wondering, does this mean a new points meta? The answer is no. This change won't impact current metas or strategies in Cox. It's purely an option for those who prefer a more predictable layout. And while it could make raids slightly more efficient due to fewer prep requirements and no re-rolling, it won't change the overall dynamics of the raid. In essence, this change allows players to get a taste of challenge mode mechanics in a lower stakes setting, making it a fantastic option for those looking to improve their raiding experience. Whether you're a seasoned speedrunner, a CM learner, or just someone who prefers a bit more consistency, this toggle is here to enhance your Chambers experience. Great. Cool. I actually like that. Demonic Gorillas. Oh, God. We're making some improvements to the Demonic Gorillas that we hope will make your trips a lot smoother and less frustrating. First up, Demonic Gorillas will become non-aggressive. Thank God. Once you've completed the Monkey Madness 2 quest. No more worrying about being constantly attacked, allowing you to take your time and focus on the fight without the hassle of being pounced on. Thank you. We're also standardizing how often they swap prayers. Right now, their behavior is a bit unpredictable. They switch prayers after 50 damage taken or after 3 successful hits from the player. We're tightening that up. Moving forward, Demonic Gorillas will only switch their prayer after 70 damage taken, and we're removing the 3 successful attacks trigger entirely. This should make the fight more consistent and less frustrating, especially for players trying to optimize their kill speed or just enjoy a smoother flow to the encounter. So let me just propose something. I'm pretty sure Demonic Gorillas have like 380 or 390 HP or something. And I was talking about this when I was first grinding TDs over on Big Dogs. And honestly, I don't even think 70 is enough. I genuinely think this should just be bumped up to 100. Just bump it up to 100. And just make it so their HP goes up a tiny little bit, up to 400. So basically just every 100 damage, you're just going to swap. And so that means guaranteed there's only going to be 3 swaps during the whole fight. I just think 70 is not doing enough. It's going to feel better. Don't get me wrong. Anything higher than 50 is great. But just make it 100, honestly. Like, does anyone disagree with that? Honestly, like in the comments. Make it 100 because we have weapons now that just decimate these things. And it was going to feel so much better to not have to switch after every 1 to 2 attacks. I mean, I'm pretty sure fucking T-bows are still hitting over 70s on these guys on task. So anyway, I honestly think 100 is much more reasonable. I love these changes, and 100 would make these truly feel really fun to grind. And the fact that they're non-aggressive is just going to be a massive improvement. So thank you. And even if it is 70, I'm obviously going to be happy with that regardless. But I would say make it 100. So ultimately, these changes are all about making the Demonic Gorillas fight feel less like a grind and more like an enjoyable challenge. We can't wait to hear how they feel. So let us know your thoughts after facing these beasts. We're fairly sure you'll enjoy these changes. So we're planning on leaving this one unpolled, but we'll be monitoring your feedback closely. Yeah, make it 100. That'd be great. Chiseling for Ether. We've proposed this change in the past, and ever since it's remained one of the most frequently requested follow-ups. So we're bringing it back for a formal poll. Charging a Revenant weapon currently requires a hefty 1,000 Revenant Ether. And we've heard from many Iron players that the upkeep costs make these powerful drops frustratingly difficult to use. It's time we gave you an additional source. We're proposing a new feature that allows you to chisel down ancient statuettes into Revenant Ether, offering a solid alternative to simply trading them in for gold coins via the Emblem Trader. This change gives you more flexibility. If you've already secured a Revenant weapon, this will be a new way to help sustain use of it. Here's how the breakdown would look. Emblem, 500,000 GP or 1,000 Ether. And then it continues down. So 1 mil for the totem becomes 2,000 Ether. The ancient statuette, I don't know why it's calling it artifact. It's definitely a statuette. That's weird because they should say ancient artifacts here and then put the statuette here, because I literally just got one last night. So 2 mil GP or 4,000 Ether, 4 mil to 8,000 in the relics. You get 32,000 Ether or 16 mil GP. So yeah, this is great. I think it's pretty balanced. I think there's a part of me that wishes it was a bit higher on in the Ether department, just because I don't know. I feel like the GP is still way more incentivized to take each time. So again, if you're just looking at like the absolute Giga Chad irons that just are filthy fucking rich, yeah, this is fine. But yeah, I wouldn't actually mind them doubling this. What do you guys think? Maybe this is fine. Maybe this is balanced. But I think doubling the amount of ether would be kind of actually a more, just a nicer approach. I mean, think about this. 1,000 ether is 4 bracelets. What would you rather have? 500K or 4 bracelets? I'm pretty sure I'd prefer the 500K. I don't know. It feels like the GP is still too incentivized. I understand what they're trying to do here. They're just trying to offer an alternative. So it's fine regardless, because just take the GP anyway. You know, this change isn't affecting you. But at the same time, I just feel like this could be slightly improved. Just doubling it, making it 2,000 ether. I'm pretty sure the bracelet's out for like 40K or something. So this would still be lower than that. And it's not actually turning into the bracelets either, because the ether doesn't actually have any high alch value. So it's not like we're turning this into 4 bracelets. We're turning it into ether directly. So it's not going to affect any of the markets or anything. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it'd be cooler to double the ether across. And plus, you know, talking to Jagex themselves, I mean, this is just further encouraging being out in the wilderness. I mean, if you're going to be trading in the GP for more ammo that's specifically only used in the wilderness, I think that's also a good move if their whole purpose is to just increase wilderness activity. Honestly, I would say doubling this would just be great. It would feel better. But yeah, I'm happy with this either way. This isn't a new money-making method. It's a way to turn drops you may not need into fuel for the weapons you're already using. If you're someone who's deep in the wilderness grind, this should go a long way in making Revenant weapons more viable long-term. New agility shortcuts. Ooh, we know how much you love a good agility shortcut, so we're looking to add even more ways to bypass those pesky fences, walls, and obstacles slowing you down. Here are some of the locations we're proposing. Castle Draken. Oh God, that's amazing. Scale the wall one way like a true vampire hunting parkour expert. I really hope this is like right next to it. Varrock Castle Garden. Skip the long walk around the palace with a new shortcut over the fence. Requires 35 agility and completion of Garden of Tranquility. What's the agility level for this one? Also, can we not add quest requirements and other requirements to agility shortcuts? That's my personal take. I'm very curious what you guys' thoughts are. I hate it when you clearly have a super high agility and can easily scale the shortcut, but then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, have you done the Wilderness Diary? Have you done Desert Elite? Have you done this requirement? Have you done this? It's like, dude, bro, this is a fucking shortcut. Can I just squeeze through it already? Jesus Christ. I would, if I could be God of this game, you know, I would say all shortcuts have no other requirements other than the agility requirement. That's it across the board. But if they're not going to go down that route, then so be it. But yeah, I would just highly suggest not continuing down this. I mean, who the fuck cares if you're not, I mean, if you have 35 agility, let's just say you're trying to complete Garden of Tranquility. Why can't we just squeeze through that fence already to make the quest a little bit easier, a little bit faster? Like, why are we doing this after the quest? You know what I mean? Like, come on. So, Proud Spire, a shortcut for both directions to get to the top of the mountain in Varlamore. Fossil Island, a shortcut from the tower down to the small island for when you just don't feel like taking the long way around. That's cool. Mauritania Slayer Tower, 2 new shortcuts to make your Slayer grind smoother. A low-level shortcut, level 9 to 18, for quicker access to Banshees, and a high-level shortcut, mid-60s, to climb straight from the bottom floor to the top, skipping the endless staircases. Cool. Also, if we're not going to go down the route, because I feel like there are some people, I'm just going to pull this up really quick, my map in game, and oh my god, that is so tilting. You click on one of these orbs and it just glitches everything. I'm just going to move in the water. Okay, so look. KQ layer. Wait, can I go here? Oh, wait, here it is. Okay, look. There's one shortcut here. That's level 86. Plus the diary needs to be completed, which is insane. Can we add a shortcut right here? That's level 70. And then can we add another shortcut right here, maybe? That's level, I don't know, 82 or something. Or just even just one right here would be enough. I would love one right here. And I mean, again, like going back to if I was God, I would just fucking just completely nuke the diary requirement for this shortcut. Like, why? But I would honestly love a shortcut right here. So you can just go in, bypass all this trek, and then maybe an additional shortcut right here. I just would like that, honestly. And then this would still be the fastest way, I guess. But yeah, that's just what I would like to see. They would still have high agility requirements, and we don't need to have this one if people are so butthurt. But yeah, I would love at least one right here. So just saying. That'd be some cool shortcuts. Let's continue. Banking and Grand Exchange. We all love a good bank rework, and this time around, we're bringing in some quality of life upgrades to make your time in Gielinor that little bit smoother. Whether you're speed depositing loot, adjusting offers at the Grand Exchange, or just enjoying a more consistent interface experience, these updates aim to reduce friction and save you clicks. Grand Exchange edits. Markets can move fast, and we want to make sure you're not left behind. We're working on a feature that will let you edit your Grand Exchange offer prices directly from the offer status page without needing to manually cancel and re-enter the whole thing. To be fully transparent, this will still cancel and resubmit your offer in the background, and your position in the purchase sale queue will be updated accordingly. But all of this will happen automatically. No more faffing with manual re-entry. It's the same functionality made less clunky and much faster. Empty bags, sacks, boxes, and pouches. Ever wrap up a trip, head to the bank, and realize you've got to manually empty a mountain of containers just to get everything stashed away? It's a small thing, but we know it adds up, so we're proposing a much more convenient way to handle it. We like to introduce a new empty containers button to the bank and deposit box interfaces. This would act much like the current deposit looting bag button, but with expanded functionality. With just one click, you'd be able to empty all your relevant containers, including coal bag, essence pouches, herb sack, seed box, plank sack, log, basket, fish barrel, shader main, coffin, and any other suitable containers. Wow. We're also planning to make this feature customizable, so you can toggle which containers you want the button to affect via the bank or deposit box settings. Whether you want everything emptied at once or just a few specific items, the control's in your hands. That's amazing. Also, I'm going to share one thing about the bank that I would love to see personally. So you know how you can lock slots now? So if you're doing an activity where you just want the top row of slots to just never, be deposited or moved around, or actually move them around well. But you just want these items to stay. I would love it if there was just one more button down here that allowed you to simply left click lock slots. So even like a button up here or something, move it so there's like a settings button right here and a lock slot right here. So instead of having to right click every single one and lock slot, because some of the time, like when I'm doing hunter rumors, I have to lock the slots like so many times, and it just slightly slows everything down. It'd be cool if there was just a button that says, let's just imagine this all was the lock slot button. Then I just left click, boom, boom, boom. And then we got all of them going instead of having to do this right click nonsense. So I would love a button like that, Jagex, if you're listening, a lock slot, because the lock slot was such a brilliant idea. I love it to death, but it would be so cool because there's so many different layouts I have. I know there's like a setting here that's like the deposit lock settings, but I'm pretty sure you can only have one going at a time. So genuinely, can we just make it so there's a quick button, quick select where you're locking slots as your left click, and then you can just turn it off really quickly and then do whatever you were doing earlier. I would love that personally. So just some, a little feedback. Let's continue. Rebuy feature. We're also exploring a repeat last offer feature for the Grand Exchange. This would remember the last time you purchased, including its price and potentially the quantity, and give you the option to recreate that offer in just a few clicks. It's perfect for regular rebuys or anyone wanting a quicker way back into the market. These tweaks are designed to keep things clean and convenient, no hidden strings, just smart systems. Standardized rewards and deposit interfaces. Ever notice how some reward chests and deposit menus have their options in a different order every time? Yes. One moment inventory is first, the next it's bank, and sometimes discard sneaks in where you least expect it. It's like trying to grab your usual groceries, only to find the entire store layout has changed overnight. Frustrating and unnecessary. So we're fixing it. Moving forward, we're standardizing these interfaces so that options always appear in a consistent order. Whether you're looting a raid chest, collecting a minigame reward, or interacting with similar menus, you'll always know exactly where to click. No second guessing required. We're planning to leave these last 2 changes unpolled as they just make sense, but do let us know if you have any feedback. I also want to make one more. This just came to my mind when I was hearing that about the interfaces. Jagex, if you're listening to this, there are 2 menu interfaces that do not react to you clicking the escape key on your keyboard. It won't close it, even when everything else can be closed with the escape key because you've set it up in your settings. And that is the anvil interface. So when you click on an anvil, you cannot click escape to close that interface. You have to manually go up to the X to close it. I find that incredibly frustrating. And also the crafting interface. Anytime you go to a furnace to craft something, not to smelt something, but to craft something like jewelry, you cannot close out of that interface with the escape key. Can we please make that standardized across all menus? That there's just something so tilting about it. Like I'm expecting the interface to close and it just doesn't. It just can't function. So on those 2 interfaces, I'm pretty sure the only cases that seems like a very simple fix. Jagex, if you're listening, I would love you to death if you would just fix that for me. And for the people that also just don't have a platform to yell about these kinds of things, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's aggravated by it. Okay, other changes. Not every update has to be a grand spectacle. Sometimes it's the little changes that make the biggest impact on your day-to-day adventures in Gilnor, like I was just saying. Whether it's saving your hard-earned Chinchampas, making bonfires a more viable fire-making method, or fixing some bizarre mechanics that defy all logic, these tweaks are designed to make your life just that little bit easier. Here's what we've got lined up. Chinchampa insurance. Losing Chinchampas to a disconnect or PVM death feels awful. You worked hard for those squeaky little explosives, and it's frustrating when they just disappear into the void. We're changing that. We want to make any unprotected chins go straight to your gravestone or death pile, just like normal items, so you have a chance to recover them. That's beautiful. We're also removing the destroy option because who wants to intentionally destroy a cute little Chinchampa? Not you. With this change, they would have a drop option instead. In PVM, your chins will stick around like any other loot. In PvP, no changes. Your opponent still gets the unprotected chins fair and square. Cool. So you can just drop Chinchampas. You can trade them over. Yeah, this literally means you can like hunt chins on an iron or whatever, and if you just have so many you're never going to use, just drop it over to a main account. Looks like interesting. Should Chinchampa? Yeah, so this is the polling questions. I think that's great. Bonfires, a fairer XP rate. Bonfires exist as a more relaxed way to train fire making, but in reality, they're barely used. The XP per log is so low that almost no one bothers with them, meaning they serve little practical function in the game. To address this, we're adjusting bonfires so they grant the same XP per log as manually lighting fires, while still keeping their overall XP per hour lower than individual log burning. This change won't make bonfires the new meta, but it will make them a more viable option for those who prefer a laid-back training method without feeling like they're missing out. I actually like this. I like that you're not randomly getting arbitrarily reduced XP per log. I just feel like that's bizarre. I don't actually know how slow the bonfires are. Is it every like 5 or 6 ticks as you're burning one? Because manually lighting every single log is a 4-tick cycle, so I like this. It's fine. I mean, everyone does a winter tot anyway, so it's just whatever. The gout tuber mystery. Right now, the higher your woodcutting level, the harder it is to find a gout tuber, which makes absolutely no sense. Instead of punishing players for leveling up, or flipping the script so that higher woodcutting levels actually increase your chances of finding one. This means less time mindlessly chopping jungle, more time doing literally anything else, and maybe, just maybe, less frustration when trying to get your hands on this elusive root. Thank you, Jagex. Imcondo hammers on Entrana. Entrana has always had some strict rules about weapons you can and can't bring, but there's a bit of a head scratcher when it comes to the Imcondo hammer. Despite being considered a weapon, the Imcondo hammer has 0 stats and doesn't even speed up unarmored combat. So why can't it be brought to Entrana? One clever skiller even reported that their niche methods could benefit from bringing the Imcondo hammer, as it would help save inventory space because, you know, who doesn't want to carry less junk around? Now we're whitelisting both the main hand and offhand variants of the Mkondo hammer to be used on Intrana. This way you can finally free up that precious inventory space without losing out on the hammer's utility. This change was for one individual. Shout out. It's a small change that makes a big difference, especially for the one of you who love efficiency or have mastered skilling with a minimal setup. Miscellaneous. These changes are a few neat quality of life updates coming for you to remove the headache of some of your daily grind. We've left these changes unpolled as we're confident you'll like them. Unpolled, okay. Auto queuing bird nests. With this update, click once on a bird's nest and now they'll auto queue. You can relax while the nests open themselves in an orderly fashion. No more frantically clicking in like a maniac trying to keep up with those sneaky little nests. Nests of the same type will be open first, so you're not jumping between different kinds in a disorganized mess. Efficiency at its finest, and no more endless spam clicking. Okay, can we make this fast though? Because I'm not gonna lie, this is another point I want to make. When you are doing any auto enchant, I'm not on the standard spellbook right now, but if you're doing auto enchant, that shit's painfully slow. I mean, like they're showing they're pointing the middle finger at you, like just like, hey, go fuck yourself. Like you're trying to do this automatically. All right, we're gonna just heavily punish you and make this the most godforsakenly slow thing of all time. Dude, we are living in 2025. Can we please, for the love of God, stop arbitrarily making shit fucking slow because you're trying to like be lazy? Okay, I want to address this. There's a spell on the Lunar Spellbook called String Jewelry, and it's beautiful because you click the spell one time, and it doesn't even go to your inventory to click on what you want to, be strung. It just starts doing it, and it does it every 3 ticks, and you get great XP for it, and it automatically does it, and it's beautiful. Can we please have on the enchant jewelry? On the standard spellbook, when you go to the enchant jewelry, can we just make it so when you click the enchant emerald stuff, it just starts automatically doing all your emerald jewelry in your inventory at 3 tick space or at 3 tick speed without you even having to click the jewelry? Could that be a possibility? That would be the most sexy update of all time. And so just, imagine this is the spell that enchants emerald jewelry. Just say I have a bunch of emerald rings that I want to enchant into dueling rings. You just click the spell, done. And it just starts automatically doing the 3 tick thing. It would be exactly like String Jewelry spell. If you guys have ever used that, I feel like many people probably haven't even touched that spell before. I would love that. Can we please make it so that's the new system of how to enchant stuff? Right now, it's a goddamn headache. Because the spell is way up here for most people that aren't spellbook filtering. And even if you do spellbook filter it only goes down to like right here. And you have a full inventory of sapphire or emerald rings or whatever the hell you're enchanting. And you have to keep going boom, 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 or, boom, boom. And it's just this constant like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then if you don't want to do the back and forth, you got to wait 9 fucking ticks in between every single action. It's just absolutely masochistic for no goddamn reason. Please, 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 can we just make it so it just goes just automatically every 3 ticks, and you just click the thing once and it just registers what the different tiers of jewelry you have. So if it's emeralds, it just starts doing all the emeralds. You could still have obviously the different tiers, but it just instantly finds them in your inventory and starts going to town on them. I would love that. I would fucking love that. So please, Jagex. Okay. Keeping the bird's nest. If you get a beginner clue scroll from a bird's nest in a member's world, you'll be able to keep the nest instead of it disappearing. No more losing valuable nests while you chase those clues. Streamlined setups for new players. For new players, we're making the settings menu easier to navigate. We'll hide some of the options that aren't immediately relevant, so you're not overwhelmed by full range of settings right from the get-go. It's a simpler, less intimidating experience for newcomers. Cool. Did you know tip in the chat? Get a helpful did you know tip when you log in. From useful hints to fun facts, these tips will appear in the chat, and you'll be able to customize the colors in the settings. Not your thing? No worries. You can toggle it off at any time. I actually like that. I like this. It's a little something to help you along your journey. Wise Old Man updates. The Wise Old Man is expanding his services. He'll now accept a wider range of quest-related items when you use his services to remove items from your bank. It's never been easier to clear out your bank space and prepare for your next adventure. Shades of Morton update. We're adding an empty option to the Shades of Morton coffin while inside the bank interface. This will allow you to directly deposit shade remains into your bank without any extra steps. It's a small change, but one we hope you'll find useful. No more delays at fishing spots. Say goodbye to annoying delays when a fishing spot moves while you're running toward it. Now you can click to move right to the new location without any interruptions. We're making these fishing trips a lot smoother. Cool. Toggle for snow effects. For players who may find the snow effects on Waterbirth Island uncomfortable, we're adding a setting that allows you to toggle the visibility of falling snow. Accessibility matters, and we hope this update will give you the option to enjoy the game without those extra visual distractions. That would be beautiful. Great. Giant's Foundry bonus action ticks. In the Giant's Foundry, if you nailed the bonus action tick perfectly, you'll recover a portion of any missed quality. This should make your bonus actions even more rewarding, giving you a little extra for your precision. I like that, but Jagex, can you please make it so that we don't get bonus ticks when we've run out of, meter? So what I mean by that is, like, oftentimes you kind of have to like prematurely start heating up your sword again or cooling it down because you're worried that you're going to get a bonus action. Because a lot of the time you'll use your final bit of heat left and then you'll get a bonus action. And it's the most fucking frustrating thing in this goddamn game. Like, the game is spitting on your face. You're like, hey, guess what? We're going to give you the bonus action. Oh, you don't have enough heat? That's boo-hoo. Oh, that's so sad. Boo-hoo. So please, can we make it so that's not even a possibility? Can we just go into the code and just say, hey, these bonus actions will never occur at this segment of the meter, Just make it so it can never even be that low and get the bonus tick. So anyway, that would be an amazing update. And also, can we please make it so if your guy moves at Giant's Foundry, it doesn't nullify the next action? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, that is so bad. It's so masochistic. It's just pointless. It's so pointless. You guys know what I'm talking about. You're at the little grinder wheel. The fucking noise that's making. And then you run over to heat up your sword again. And I'm talking about the polishing wheel thing, whatever the green one is. You run over to heat it up, but right then, as you start moving, it gives you the bonus tick. Right as you're preparing to go heat it up. And so you run back to the grinder. You just immediately run back. You just one tick away, one tick back. And then you start grinding it again. And it's like, you missed the action because you tried to do too much. You tried to do too much, little Timmy. What the fuck are you doing? You got to sit here like a little, just sit here. Be obedient, sit here and just do what we tell you to do. And if you try to move even one goddamn step, we're going to fuck you up. Just like stop with that. Fix that. It's so stupid. So stupid. It makes you feel, it's like this element of fear the whole fucking time that you're at Giant's Foundry. You have this like weird, like, tenseness to the whole situation where it's like, okay, don't move. I don't want to move accidentally. You're like getting shaky about moving to the next station because what if the bonus tick lands right then? It's just stupid and bizarre and pointless, and just it makes you feel glued to your spot. Horrible. So fix that, please, and make it so those bonus ticks just never even happen when you're at the low range. You can tell I'm getting very emotional about this, but that's because Giant's Foundry has so many goddamn issues that I just want to get resolved. No more delay with cat chasing rats. We're fixing the pesky delay caused by cats chasing rats. Your character actions will no longer be delayed during this animation. Oh, that is beautiful. Making it smoother to get things done without any extra hiccups. That is so good. Can we please do that with falconry as well? I totally understand. I think I mentioned this in one of my videos, and I got some commenters saying, oh, well, you got to just be close to the falcons or the whatever they are, the kebits. Okay, yeah, I get it. I mean, I get that I'm going to try to be close to them, but can we just make it so there's no random delay where you're just sitting there waiting for your falcon to fly back 2 seconds an hour back to your hand? Like, please. Updated trap placement. We've improved the placement of hunting traps at various spots, making it easier to set up and more efficient for players looking to maximize their hunter training. One of the biggest beneficiaries of this change is net traps for salamanders, which now feel much smoother to place. No more awkward setups, just efficient, hassle-free trapping. Cool. Stackable hunter traps. Say goodbye to inventory clutter. All hunter traps are now stackable in your inventory. This will make it much easier to carry and deploy traps without constantly needing to go back to the bank. Less space, more traps. What's not to love? Except, what is that? Is that just boxes? I mean, it's not going to be logs, obviously. I mean, I'm thinking of like sunlight antelopes or something we have to do. I mean, you still have to go back to the bank to grab more logs. But is this also going to be ropes? I mean, are ropes stackable? Are nets stackable? What's happening? What exactly are considered hunter traps? So is it just Chinchompa boxes, box traps? I mean, I don't know what's going to be used here. Small meat pouch near banks. You'll be able to use the small meat pouch near banks. It's a small change, but it's a big help for streamlining your hunting process. No more extra trips to the bank to load up your pouch. Okay. Tower of Life. You'll no longer have a random chance to find nothing when searching the Tower of Life crates during the quest. Wintertod. The warmth overhead bar in Wintertod will be made narrower to avoid visual clutter, especially during populated fights. Additionally, the player's health bar will no longer appear alongside the warmth bar when you get hit by the cold. Okay, I'm sorry to say this, but it just reminded me of Giant's Foundry again. The visual clutter, as they say, is so egregious at Giant's Foundry when you're playing on fixed mode. It is, I kid you not, it is taking up a third of your entire screen real estate with those matching the color toddler fucking match the colors with the station. Can we just literally make it so we can just turn that like a third of the size? I mean, it's truly taking up a third of the screen. It's insane. So that's the last thing I'll say on that point. Wow, what a beefy ramble. 1 hour and 11 minutes so far. Jeez. Okay, so there is so much here, and there's so much more to talk about in regards to Clue Scrolls. I'm going to try to get some guests on and just have maybe some like mini rambles talking with them about Clue Scrolls. There's so much, obviously. I also want to make it clear once again, all of these rambles and casts are on Spotify with the full video, with the comments, with the automatic timestamps and everything. So go check it out, guys. I would greatly appreciate you guys' help in just growing the show over there, Rambles especially. And if you guys are interested in listening to the casts, Spotify does actually pay higher rates than YouTube. So if you guys are listening to Sae Bae casts and you haven't jumped over to Spotify, I would highly recommend it. It's a better experience in a lot of ways, and it also just is helping me out as a creator more. And also tomorrow we're going to be having Mod Husky and Mod Lenny on the cast at the same time, which is just going to be a super fun, exciting episode. The next week we're going to be having Mod Nox on, and then we're going to be getting Mod Jerv on as well. So the J-Mod casts of April have been in full force, so I'm really excited for those. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for handling my obnoxious emotional ass during these rambles. I'm trying to just have fun. I'm really not that butthurt at these kinds of things. I'm just trying to make it more emotionally like interesting, I guess, for your guys' listening pleasure. It might come across as really annoying, but ultimately I'm just trying to have some fun here. And you know, I love RuneScape and I love talking about it, and I just get really passionate and heated about certain things. But it really is just all in good fun. When I end these recordings, I just sit back and relax and I just start playing the game again because I've just been so addicted. So thank you all for tuning in. There will be a ramble coming out as well about my account's progress, which is looking very juicy, as you guys can tell. And we've got some crazy item unlocks that we've gotten. So I'll tell you all about that coming soon. Thank you all. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.